Take your business to the flesh level. Turn your advertisement into a living work of art with Stoner High Girls, the newest promotional modeling group featuring body paint, now available for your events in the Front Range area.
To find out all the cool details and how you can help your community, give us a call at 720-329-0061. Or to arrange your interview, go to facebook.com/Stoner High Girls. 720-329-0061. 720-329-0061.
Okay, there we go. Hey, you guys, this is your girl, Miss Miranda Wrights. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Once again, sorry we were interrupted. You guys are listening to the one and only One Blunt Radio. That's KSOS Denver. You smoke one son. So, as I got to briefly explaining before, which we got disconnected about, but we are broadcasting live from Colorado Springs here at the world-famous Speakeasy Cannabis Club. We have Mr. Jamin Johnson here in the room with us. He's just getting everything all set up, getting some lights turned on for us. So it's been a crazy morning trying to get everything all settled up and getting everything all connected and getting programming situated. It's a little bit different than what I'm used to, but got it going now. So if you guys don't know who I am, let's see, my name is Miranda, and I originally started doing radio with K-High out of Colorado Springs. It was the first FCC-approved marijuana radio station ever in the world. So my show, Hash It Out, made history by me being the first female to ever openly go on broadcast radio air and discuss marijuana awareness. So it's pretty cool. Thankfully, Dr. Cush, he has become a good friend throughout these past few months and picked up on the likings of my show and has allowed me to carry over onto the network with One Blunt. So I thank you guys, and I hope that you guys can take hold to what I got going on with my show, and we'll be starting to hash it out. We're going to air some pretty good topics. We're going to let some stuff kind of out of the bag a little bit. But for today, being the first show and everything, I kind of want to actually touch on a pretty intense topic, something that was pretty cool to me that I just learned about yesterday, and it is our very own Aaliyah, Leggy Leah from the Stoner High Girls.
Yeah, Stoner High Girls.
Hi, everybody.
Can you hear us just
Hi,
fine?
today.
Okay, so I was talking with Aaliyah yesterday because it was her birthday, and throughout the night we were just hanging out, and she had explained to me something that I thought I was floored by. I mean, I changed my entire plan for what my show was going to be about today just because of what she had, shared with me. Basically, Aaliyah has helped, I don't know, did you help pass, or you are the reason that this law got passed for the state of Colorado, right?
I'm not the reason why it did, but I am part of a group. It's called the 911 Good Samaritan Law Coalition, and we are an effort of many to save thousands from overdose. And we're located actually all across the United States. So, but Colorado is one state out of, I believe, 11 now that has the Good Samaritan Law passed.
Right, and I was seeing it on there, and on the little list that you gave me, your name is the only name that is on here for representing the state of Colorado. You're the state organizer for it. That is awesome. And so what this is, it is, sorry, got this blunt, got me choking over here. Okay, so it's called the 911 Good Samaritan Law Coalition. And for many people out there, a lot of people may have heard of it, or it might sound familiar to them. But once you kind of touch base on it, to me, it kind of struck that light bulb that, oh yeah. So basically, what it is it is a law that is offering limited immunity to those of you that immunity from prosecution to people who are present with a victim of an overdose. So if they choose to call 911 and save a life, then basically they're not going to get any ramifications of drug-related charges or convictions, right?
Correct. Pretty much, yes. Like, if we're for example, if we're in a room together and me and you decided that we were going to use drugs and you had an overdose and it was life or death at that point, I could call 911, and no matter what is laying out on the table, no matter what we are doing in that room, as long as I call somebody to save your life, they cannot charge anybody in that room at all with any drug charges, including the person they're taking to help. And they have to help you. They cannot deny you any help at the hospital if you are overdosing. And a lot of people I notice are not aware of this law in the state of Colorado. And that was a big concern for me when I started this after my brother had passed away. and I felt that more people should be aware of this. People get left behind because they don't know about this law. People overdose, and their friends freak out, or their family members freak out, or whoever they're with, and they dump their bodies, or they leave their bodies, and they leave them there to die because they are afraid of the ramifications that could happen to them if they just called an ambulance, called for help. And
you always hear,
shouldn't be afraid to help other people, in my opinion.
well, you always hear those stories about the people that have somebody overdosing. It's kind of like the, almost like Pulp Fiction, the scene where he doesn't know what to do about the overdosing chick, and you'll hear the people, they'll jump the body at the ER doors and then haul ass away because they're afraid of getting in trouble. Or they'll just take off and leave the person there dying because they don't want to get caught, when a life could have potentially been saved. And I remember the whole reason you were, like you were saying, was because of your brother, right? You lost your brother to a heroin overdose?
Actually, I lost more than just my brother. It all started about over 20 years ago. It started with my father. I could talk freely about it now. I'm in a place, where I can. But my father and my mother were both heroin addicts when I was a child. And we had to struggle a lot. We lived a life of poverty, and just because the drugs had a really good hold on them. And my mom left my dad because of it. My mom still struggled with her addiction for many years after that, but my father ended up passing away when I was 11 years old up here in Denver, Colorado. He was with a group of his friends, and he had been clean, I believe, for 8 or 9 months, from what I understand. And it took that one time he thought he could handle a dose that he had taken before, and it had killed him instantly. But his friends took off and left him there, and his body wasn't found until the next day. That's when it all started for me. I was always aware of the drug abuse in my home. I was never dumb to it at all. I could remember being 3 years old and going on a dope deal with my mother and my father to a motel, and I remember the lady buying dope off of my father, and I remember having to use the restroom, and I walked in on her shooting up in the bathroom, and the only reason it really stuck with me was because this lady yelled at me like I was doing something wrong. And that's when I realized that she was doing something wrong. But they didn't want me to see it. And just throughout the years of my childhood, I watched my parents struggle with this. My uncle, when my father died, it was not easy. I left for a while. My mom got deeper into her drug addiction, so much to where my mother abandoned me. I forgive her now. It's in the past, it's crunch, but this is just how powerful addiction can be in general. It makes people do crazy things that they would normally not do if they were sober. And I believe if my mom was sober, I don't think she would have ever done what she had done to me and my brother growing up. It was just a horrific time for all of us. And,
well, shit, Aaliyah.
That's where it started. Once I hit high school, I lost 3 uncles, separate times within months of each other. I lost 2 to heroin, 1 to cocaine, and that was just in high school. Time had passed for a while, and about 4 years ago, after my divorce, I got a text message that was off the wall, and I was told to check my brother's Facebook. And I got online on Facebook, and I saw that his wife had posted online that he had passed away, and that her and her son found his body. And I lost it. I just lost it, and I couldn't handle it, They left my brother, or not. I heard there was more than one person, but I hear they could only prove there was one person. And from what I understand, he is AWOL from the military. He came over, and he knew where my brother was staying in this abandoned home. And my brother had been clean for 5 months, right out of rehab.
Yeah, you. I don't mean to stop you right there. It's just like I'm just taken back by all of this. This is such a deep story. I was taken a little bit off guard. I'm just going to be completely honest. I understand the importance of your story, Aaliyah, and I love you. I just middle of the afternoon. This is some intense stuff. I understand the privacy of some of the details of your story. Maybe
Well, it's not so private because I've had a rough life, and that's not a secret to anybody. Maybe so much now that I'm in the cannabis community as a promotional model, but I don't feel holding my story in is going to do anybody any good. I feel that my family that had passed away would have wanted me to tell their story.
Well, I think that's basically what you're doing with this Good Samaritan law, right? Having something like this done and to get a whole state to recognize it and make it an actual law. Colorado, you said, is one of 11 states out of 50 states. You know what I mean? Come on. That's a pretty big deal.
The one that we got passed was with Bon Jovi.
Well, that's what I was just going to talk about. I have the letter here in front of me. You gave me a copy of it. And it's talking about, it's November 27th of 2012. So this is just a few years ago.
It was probably not even, it was about a year after my brother had passed away. Because Victor died June 6th of 2011. Mm-hmm. So
right.
This wasn't that long after that yet.
So it's from the Good Samaritan Law Coalition, which is an effort of many to save thousands from overdose. And it's to Mr. Bon Jovi, and it says, with all of our respects and the passions in our hearts, those of us signing this letter on behalf of the hundreds of thousands that will collectively serve as senators, representatives, mayors, community organizers, treatment providers, the press, and policy proponents for the movement to stop overdose deaths, we require that you lend us your good name and reputation and consider serving in an extremely important role as the national spokesperson for the Good Samaritan Law efforts across the entire country. And so basically, you guys had asked him to be the spokesperson for this campaign because he had just lost a daughter from a drug overdose, a 19-year-old daughter, right?
Well, she didn't die, but she did overdose. Okay. She's one of the lucky ones, from what I understand. And we felt that he would be perfect for our cause because we knew that he understood what we were going through. Mm-hmm. Because it's not just the addicts that are affected, it's the whole family. And it's a sickness that affects us all in one way or another. And I believe everybody has been affected one way or another by this. And we knew that Bon Jovi would personally be affected because this had just happened around that time.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because you actually had showed me the YouTube video of, it was for New Jersey, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, there's a YouTube video, you can go and you can Google it, and it's have him signing the petition or the law with Governor Chris Christie to invoke the New Jersey's 911 Good Samaritan law. And it's like a whole big thing. The media was there. It's a news broadcast and stuff. And it's actually really cool to show that, it's Bon Jovi. And he actually, you guys can make a difference. And that just goes to show that things like all of these activist groups, whether it be for, heroin overdosing or drug overdosing, or whether it be for cannabis, as a medicine, it's all for the same thing. And you can make a difference. That just goes to show that. That's amazing that you did that.
He died in St. Louis, Missouri, and this is where this had all started coming out of, was from that particular state. They don't have the Good Samaritan law there at all, but it is an epidemic up there. I hear stories all the time. I know people in Missouri still. I still talk to them, and it's a normal thing up there to find overdose victims in their cars in the back alleys, and this is just a common thing. And it's just to think about that, it's overwhelming, just to think that these people are struggling with that up there. And from what I understand, they don't really have much help for people up there either. So I want to make a difference. I want to make that happen. I want to spread awareness because this is something that I think that if the Good Samaritan law existed everywhere, then there would be more people that had a chance, to survive. Just like I said, addiction is a sickness, and you have to fight through that. Some people make it, some people don't. But if you overdose, wouldn't you want to have the option to have a chance to make it, to live through that experience?
Well, me and Jamin were just kind of looking at each other, and I asked him if he's known anybody that's ever, died of a drug overdose, and he said, yeah.
My brother-in-law lived with us for a couple of years, and he basically lived on my couch for a couple of years in our apartment, and he would hold down jobs for a few months at a time, but he was a Xanax. He liked Xanax and Oxycontin and stuff like that, and quite a few times. One time I remember that we were wondering where he was at, and I look outside, and we lived in a townhouse. My friend Dennis actually was our downstairs neighbor, my friend Dennis who's here. And my brother-in-law, Kenny, he had this, what is it, Z280 or whatever, the old sports car. And he was laying flat on his back in the back parking lot with his leg twisted up in the seat belt, just passed out. There was another time he had gone on a drug binge for a while, and he came home and brought pizza as an offering, and he stood there with this pizza trying to apologize to us, but he was so messed up that he fell over flat on his face, but held the pizza out in front of him as to not, and he wanted me to know, he looked at us with all sincerity and wanted us to know that he saved the pizza for us. But he fell flatly on his face, and we did everything we could for him for a few years, and we continually, and he was very good about it. He a few times had voluntarily checked himself into what we believe to be rehabilitation, but what it turned out is that when he couldn't find drugs, he would go to these clinics and claim to be suicidal. Meanwhile, he would tell us it was a rehab center. And we were baffled that he would come out with more prescriptions than he went in with. And they would up his doses and stuff because he would claim that he was depressed or suicidal, and they would give him all these prescriptions of Xanax and stuff like that. He would tell them that was the only thing that worked. So he'd come out with higher milligrams than he went in with, yet he was buying them on the street. He was getting prescriptions from multiple doctors, stuff like that. And he had stolen from us many times, and he moved to Florida, and we didn't hear from him for a year. We had to cut him off at one point. His parents, my wife's parents, cut him off at one point. We had to because we were only enabling him in his endeavors, And he moved to Florida, and he had met a woman in rehab who was 10 years sober almost, was a school teacher now, different stuff like that. And they had fallen in love. Well, they got married in a very short period of time and stuff. And he called us one day, obviously high, and was apologizing to us, and I really only smoked weed, and there were so many times that I had these heart-to-hearts with him where we would go camping or something, after one of his. Did we lose her?
Yeah, she just lost her. We'll call her back. Anyways.
But we would go camping or something, and we would. I would have these heart-to-hearts, and we'd have such a great time. We'd go to restaurants. We would smoke a joint, go to the movies. We'd go bowling and stuff. And I would ask him,
There you go. Sorry.
And I would ask him though, was that didn't he prefer these times, where we just smoked a joint and went fishing, or when we would just go bowling, or hang out and see a movie, or do things as a family, or play with the dogs and stuff. And he would tell me how those were the greatest times in his life. And, you know, I would try to convince him that that's what he wanted and that he could have that for himself. But he called us one night, and he was, you could tell he was really high. He was slurring really badly. But he wanted to apologize to me, and he wanted to thank me for my friendship. And he told me how much I had meant to him and how much my friendship meant to him. And then, you know, he asked to talk to Amy, but Amy was still really hurt by some of the stuff he had done to us. Some of them, you know, stealing, the lying and stuff. It was not, it had not been a long time. It had only been a few months, and she was still very hurt by it all, so she didn't talk to him. Well, a few days later, or she talked to him very briefly, and she got very upset with him and just talked to him very briefly because even though he had called to apologize, she could hear that he was high and stuff, and so she was very short with him and very dismissive with him. And she battles with it today because a few days later his wife called to say that she found him on the couch and he was not responsive, and the you know, doctors were saying that she needed to come out there. So she came out there. They took him off life support and the funeral and all that. And so now she battles today with the guilt that she feels from that, you know, because she turned him away, and she wonders if there was a way she could have helped him. But, you know, she had attempted so many times over years. She really did give it a valiant effort, you know. So.
Is she listening right now?
She's at work. She's helping out at the doctor's office we run. She's at work right now helping to license patients for cannabis.
Well, one thing I learned, you know, just with my experience with my family and my own struggles, is that we can't save them. I mean, we could do what we can to spread awareness and things like that, you know, and just try to be there for them. But the reality of it all is they have to want it. They have to want to be clean. And I had to learn that. And I didn't understand that before until my brother passed away and I picked up on my own addiction. I didn't get it. I never understood. I thought he could just quit, you know, that his kids could make a difference and it would just be that easy. I thought I knew, but I didn't know. But I know now. I
want to thank you for the positive change that you've made. That I mean, you guys have really made a difference. So how does the law work? I mean, so this protects families or people from prosecution, or?
I was showing this.
Yeah, you don't get prosecuted. Anybody that's in that room at the time of the overdose, as long as somebody calls for help, nobody gets drug charges and nobody goes to jail. Like, they turn the cheek. You don't charge you with nothing. You don't get a ticket. You don't get nothing. And the person that overdoses, same thing. They're exempt. It's because they're practicing the Good Samaritan law. You're practicing saving somebody's life instead of leaving them there.
Okay, well, I just want to. I want to ask. I would just want to ask, because when I was reading this, I was looking over it this morning, actually, and something that kind of stuck out to me and that another person pointed out is that on here, because you have to think, okay, this is like a pretty big deal, okay? Chances are, sometimes when things go wrong like that, some people might not be in the safest place with the safest people or have, like, the best environmental, like, things around, okay? So,
yeah.
You're going to say nobody gets in trouble at all, right? So on here it says that it is offering limited immunity. What does that limited mean? Because that limited could mean a whole lot.
I was told, because I even researched online, that you were...
No, I'm reading off the paper that you gave me.
This is on the letter to Bon Jovi?
Yes. On the front page... I mean, on the second page, it says that what you guys, like, it has the bullet points with the exact message, you know what I mean, that includes the following criteria. But on the very, very front of this, like, what the law states, it says that you guys are offering, right here, that these laws are designed to provide limited immunity, okay? That limited in the law of the eye and the justice system, okay? That limited is a big freaking limited, okay? So I just...
Was everywhere else, like, look, it says that you were fat.
Well, it says here 911 Good Samaritan laws have already been passed in 10 out of 50 of the 50 states. I think is the part you're reading. Is that right?
And
it says
has been passed since then.
right. Very generally, the laws are designed to provide limited immunity from prosecution to people who are present with a victim of overdose who would choose to call emergency services to save a life without the potential ramifications of a minor drug-related charge or conviction.
Yeah, because what about the person who's overdosing? What if it's their house and they're the one overdosing?
I think
they're about to get fucked. I'm sorry.
Well, there has to be, I guess, some limitations when it comes to, like, well, does that mean you could call from a drug den and everything?
That might be a limitation.
Well, I mean, I'm not arguing against it. I think it's so great. I'm just
right,
curious, you know what I mean? Cause
what it looks like is it's saying anyone with a minor drug possession, so if you had a small amount of drugs or whatever, but I mean, otherwise, I guess it could leave potential someone to call about someone who overdosed in a drug den, and they would say, "Oh, that's legal now because they made the phone call." It just looks like
How much of it does it exclude? You know what I mean? And is it only like I don't know? That's what I'm saying. There's so many. You got to think about it. Okay, think about the justice system. Think about how everything all works. That limited. There's loopholes to that. I'm just curious as to what the definite, like, justification for that is. You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't actually even, I didn't even think about it. It was somebody this morning that pointed it out to me.
Yeah.
And that's a great point because now it got me thinking. Because, you know, I've been in that situation before where I've had a friend that was really sick. I thought it was an overdose situation. It wasn't. It actually was something completely different. He got a bug bite and, like, was allergic to the medicine. It was a whole big story. Anyways, so, but the thing about it was we got into kind of an argument about it because he got pissed off because I actually called the ambulance. I was in tears. I freaked the fuck out, okay? I'm not going to lie. I was scared. I came over. He was not doing well, okay? I thought I was doing the right thing. He got mad because he thought he was going to get in trouble. In that type of an instance, I didn't even care about getting in trouble, really, because I was trying to, you know, but I didn't think about their situation or the people that were there or anybody else. So then I felt, well,
but there are a lot of times there are, and a lot of times there's a group situation where two people, you know, so like, you know, maybe you got a good friend there with you, but maybe the other people aren't as friendly with them or something, or don't know them as well, and they're sitting there going, no, if you call. So a lot of times it's more of a group mentality. If someone's sitting there saying, no, you can't call, and it's not always that everyone in the room is against calling. It's just that maybe there's people there saying, hey, you know, we're all going to go to jail, sitting there making it sound worse than it is. But
I've heard of stories like that, too, where a group of them will just dump the body in a field.
Well, you know, and you see it all the time because and the truth was that was a very real reality, though, before this law, is that they could get prosecuted. So they go to try to save their friend and they get arrested. I mean, that's been...
And they get life in prison, you know, over trying to help somebody.
Yeah, and they get arrested. You know, they bring their friend, and before they can even find out the status of their friend, they're getting hauled off to jail. So
well, I found out, though, because of that incident, though, I found out from the paramedics and stuff that they couldn't nobody was going to get in any trouble for anything. And it's because of this law. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe I could have gotten in trouble. You know? All of our friends.
And you would have got in trouble if this law was not in place here in Colorado. Yeah. We are one of the lucky states that has this law. But, you know, like I was saying, not a lot of people know that it even exists here.
Right.
And I think that more people should know about it. Because this epidemic isn't in just one area. It's all over the United States, you know?
Well, and like families too. Like, for example, what I was saying about my sister-in-law, married, you know, who was married to my brother-in-law. He was battling with drug addiction. Her battle was in the past. She had conquered it. She was many years sober, but she still attended the meetings for the support, you know, and to support others. And so, had she discovered him even earlier or even that morning, and informed them or took them to the hospital, and then to imagine her then being harassed, because maybe it's in her medical history that she had a drug addiction, or something, and or that the police are just questioning her, and so she's getting harassed, and questioned and stuff because he was having his battle,
Yes. And anybody out there that's listening to, if you're afraid of, the repercussions and you're not really trustworthy of the Good Samaritan law or what might happen to you, still, at least make an anonymous phone call. Please do not leave them there. You wouldn't want nobody to do that to you, so I beg you, please, even if you have to make an anonymous phone call, do it. It will help. It doesn't hurt to do it. It really doesn't. But I suggest that you try to practice the Good Samaritan law.
Absolutely. At least an anonymous phone call. It's the least that you owe another human life at the minimum, if not a friend of yours or something. But, I think that they should have faith in this law. If nothing else, have faith for the people who were pushing behind it, the advocates behind it, because I know that if you heard that someone showed faith in this law and was being harassed by the state or by whoever, I know you would be there in their defense. I know that a lot of people would rally behind that person in their defense. So, if nothing, have faith of the people behind the law, right?
Yes, I agree. And I just think that every state should have this law. It confuses me anyway, and I'm going to be honest. I've seen a lot of people addicted to drugs. I've obviously lost a lot of people to it as well. I know the methadone program is meant to help people, but I have such a negative opinion on the methadone program even. And it's because I've seen my own mother hooked on that methadone. It's like they took the illegal drug out of her system, and they put a legal drug in her system, but she's still hooked on that. And if she don't have her methadone, she gets sick. If she has to get off of it, it will make her ill just like you would if you were getting off heroin. Right. It makes no sense to me, and part of the reason why I'm a part of the marijuana movement as well, is just I think that it should be used to help detox as well.
Yeah. Well, that seems paralleled all over the place, where they're constantly trying to get you to trade one addiction for another. But they just want you to use their approved drugs for your treatment, and not what you find most comfortable or what allows you to still interact with your family. They just want you to go with their approved ones, whatever's on the list.
And I think in general, have you ever seen somebody try to get clean off of heroin?
Yeah.
I watched my brother try to get clean, and I swear, just watching him get clean, I was scared for him. It was just such a scary thing to watch him come off of. And I remember my brother being sick and in pain, and he turned yellow. And I think that's when I really freaked out. But my brother went back to Missouri, and his addiction picked up again. He couldn't handle even trying to get clean. It just hurt too bad.
I think that the topic of addiction is such a, you could talk about it for days, and it's always going to stem from the same thing, that it comes down to the person. It's the person that has the problem, and whether you substitute one thing for another is not curing anything, because it's the same habits, just the repetitiveness. The thing about this law, though, I don't want to steer too far off of topic, because we can go in a whole opposite direction, and I want to focus on this law because of the fact that we were watching that video, and it was showing all of those moms of those kids that were found, and how many moms had their kid wasn't saved because of the fact that their body was just left to die. Those are the people that it affects, and you save all of those people being able to do this. How did you even find out about this coalition that was going on? How did you get Colorado to jump on board doing all of that, Aaliyah?
I never even got Colorado to jump on it. It's just been me than me here. That's why I'm trying to go forward with this right now. I found out about it after I left St. Louis when my brother had passed away. I did not deal with his death at all. We were 18 months apart, very close, and just to see him in that casket, it traumatized me. And his wife, Denise, her cousin, Tasha, I believe her name's Tasha, she was a part of this group called, what was it, Heroin Epidemic, So Many Loved Ones Lost. Mm-hmm. And it was a really great group. It's still on Facebook. You can find it. I think I added you to it, actually. But it's a support group for families that could come together and talk about what they're going through with their relatives that are dealing with addiction. But it's also a page for addicts to come on and talk about their addiction.
Oh, yeah, you sent that to me this morning. I remember we were talking about that. So the whole thing, okay, there was... It's no secret. I've talked about it.
Well, there in Missouri. Well, and that's what really stuck out to me was these rallies they were doing at the St. Louis Arch at their Capitol up there, and just all over the state. Really, you could find a lot of their videos on YouTube. You just got to look up "Not One More" or the heroin epidemic, so many loved ones lost, and you'll find their videos on YouTube. A lot of people got involved up there. Like I said, it's a really bad epidemic up there, but it inspired me. Like, I saw those people hurting the way that I was hurting, whether it was one loss or multiple losses to it. They were all hurting just like me. And I remember looking at my nephew at the funeral, and his name is also Victor, and he looks just like my brother, and I can't help but stare at him and think of my brother when we were that young and being at our own father's funeral for the same thing. And I just decided I can't do this.
Aaliyah.
I want to break this cycle. This cycle needs to be broke. It needs to be broke.
I'm going to have to cut you off there just for a quick second because it's about the time for me to take my break. So just can you hold on for just 1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are hearing it from Aaliyah, this lady Leah from the Stoner High Girls out here in Denver. We're talking about her help with promoting the 911 Good Samaritan law. It is quite a touching subject, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and take this quick break real quick, and we're going to listen to a couple songs, and we will be back here in just a minute, okay?
had to be somewhere with my people. We can kick it and just listen to some music with the message like we usually do. And we'll discuss our big dreams, how we plan to take over the planet. So pardon my manners, I hope you'll understand that I'll be here. Out there in the kitchen with the girl who's always gossiping about her friends. So tell them I'll be here. Right next to the boy who's throwing up 'cause he can't take what's in his cup no more. Oh God, why am I here? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. I ask myself, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I can't wait till we can break apart the years later, congregating next to the refrigerator. Some girl talking about a hater, she ain't got none. How did it ever come to this? I should've never come to this. So holla at me, I'll be in the car when you're done. You standoffish, don't want what you're offering, and I'm done talking awfully. Sad it had to be that way. So tell my people when they're ready that I'm ready, and I'm standing by the TV with my beanie low. Yo, I'll be over here. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. I ask myself, what am I doing here?
That should be fine.
Mama and Daddy have warned us about, or at least that love that your daddy would have warned you about if he was around. The kind of love that you only see in the theaters now. Don't be scared. I see you stressing, forget it. No need for pulling your hair. I see you looking, don't get it crooked. I love when you stare. Secret visions of sweet kisses and love in the air. I love when she's here. I love it when you sing along to the songs you don't know the words to. Yeah. And I love the smell of your perfume. The funny thing is I know I've smelled it before, but I love it because it's yours. I love it when you tell me you hate me because it makes me think about how much you truly love keeping me within reach. If this the end, then why is your makeup still on the sink? Girl, quit fronting and fall asleep with me.
It's a real love, yes it is. Oh yes it is. And baby you are the real thing. Yes you are. Oh yes you are.
See, lately I've been dreaming about you. I wanna be around you. Hate it when I sleep without you. I can tell by the look in your eyes you're feeling scared. The word is love, don't know how to love, and I'll teach you how to. No need for the fretting, you know, and I know. So no need for discussion. A broken heart's only broken till the piece is constructed. Long as you hear them eyes good, and the reason is perfect. But I love you from here and beyond. Dreams of me holding your palms. Please fall asleep in my arms. Cut on the TV and turn it to what you like. If not, then it's cool. We Netflixing it for the night. Baby, I'ma do you right. Since your other man had left you, I've been waiting for this moment to tell you I think you're special. Girl, I knew you was the one from the very moment I met you. I hope you hear the tracks, so you know I'll never forget you.
Oh, yes,
Sunspot Jones, Living Legends. We never stop. I don't give a fuck who's listening or who ain't listening. We do this underground shit. It's called life. We come with bump, 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 girl. Fuck Bush, we run this world. Lift up, you light up, boy. But N.O., we got you, boy. Ain't no hurricane ever gonna stop us, man. Barbecuing on the roof, rolling up a Swisher thing. So let's start this party, yeah. My drinks McCarthy, yeah. Out in Hollywood, I grew up in the open hood, eating with the rats, praying God would make it all good. But that didn't work, so I had to do it on my own. Couldn't move bricks like my friends that were dead and gone. That's a sucker roll, you were way too young to go. But growing up in the O's, slang on you hustle. That buck, duck, that duck, duck, damn. Swing not, no pump, pump, bam. That's the way we do, never stop, we gotta move underground, baby. We the reason why they booing you. Sunspot. It's the blunt J or the bong, right, girl? Drop that, now track that world. Wide exclusive, you talk while we do shit. You snob like Martha, you acting like a prison bitch. MC jealous, acting overzealous. We ain't afraid to be ourselves, regardless what they tell us. I was born to a losing situation. Mama hooked up on the drugs. Daddy's pimping conversation, got his ass caught up. Man, it's time to roll up. Never knowing who you are, nothing ever seems enough. I know, let me go cold as Eskimo. It was told, story of a princess, so spoiled, so typical. She would blow up, love in her face, never give the chance. Think above, never state. A generalization is true. You don't know me, but judge me, fuck you. All these people that be faking, we want the same thing, but the stick be in their ass like a popsicle ring.
Many a method together when getting high. We smoking Yeah. Breakdown, roll up. I break down, roll up, snake size, cobra, switch sweet, cups of lean, just popped off, no soda. What you smoke is so, might pass it off like so what? These scrub niggas get no love, wrap it up, toga, OG, only, smell that, Folgers, I will never change, like the money in your sofa. We smoking every day in a loca, motor, drop top, choo with your girlfriend going cuckoo. Yeah, everybody know me, wizard of that OC. Say the smoking great, hey, but all these niggas is phony. It's 6 hits, too fat, blunts call it flowetry. Bonfire, stick on, round burn so slowly. Girl, to keep it real, I don't trust nobody. When you roll it up, damn, I need you. Shout it, break it down, she don't waste no time. You the type of one I gotta keep. I love it when you roll it. Love it when you roll it. Roll it up on me. I love it when you roll it. Love it when you roll it. Roll it. I got this drink in my blunt. Oh yeah. I got the stank in my blunt. You smell stank in my blunt. Yeah, blunt. I break down, roll up, so California, palm trees, palm weed, C4, blow it up, hip it high, loud smoke, hit me out, pound like a boxer, we twisted like lockers, I'm on one, your girlfriend is on me, we kick it like show nothing, she's so hot and horny, meet me backstage when I get done performing, I got a OZ, I need you to show me how you do it, cuz. Show me how you do it, girl. Show me how you do it, girl. Yeah. Show me how you do it, girl. Show me how you do it, girl. Girl, to keep it real, I don't trust nobody. When you roll it up, damn, I need you. Shout it, break it down, she don't waste no time. You the type of one I gotta keep. I love it when you roll it. Love it when you roll it. Roll it up on me. I love it when you roll it. Love it when you roll it. Roll it.
Long-term Rasta did I tell it, just listen to our messages or read it in the Genesis. The service of one medicine, it boosts me like adrenaline. Cause I'm in the telling them I steam it like a oxygen. Cigarette noise, my God, cigarette noise. I don't mean to be a pessimist, this politics and prejudice. Cause ganja them fit treasure it, cause Jamaica can benefit. Oh me, oh my, high grade herb, yes I need it in my life. Oh me, oh my, I be spinning all night to see the red in my eyes. I'm a ganja man. I esteem these trees when I'm touching on the streets. I'm a ganja man. I got some deeper OG and I steam where I please. I'm a ganja man. I'm living so free, giving positivity. I'm a Rasta man. Oh, I'm a ganja man. Well, I would every fight down on the naturally. We don't want them alcohol lock mixed up in them laboratory. We don't want them drugs lock mixed up in them lab chemically. We want the high grade that good for me spiritually. And all the doctor them are saying good medically. Before we utilize the air to boost them economy. Police are brutalize the youth and beat them physically. We need to realize that this not good for everybody. Cigarette noise, cigarette noise. Cigarette move from ya. Cigarette noise, cigarette noise. Put down the ganja man. I esteem these trees when I'm touching on the streets. I'm a ganja man. I got a diva OG and a steam when I please. I'm a ganja man. I'm living so free, giving positivity. I'm a Rasta man. Oh, I'm a ganja man. 10 pound of weed in a we chariot. I guess I straight from west we a carry that. And when it's seed up, kind they can't smell that. I guess I straight down a town we a sell that. Overseas no boy a try send that. I don't get a visa, I don't get the port and send back. Oh gosh, a long time them a lock up not in dreadlock. Them no want to legalize, they have time to end that. Cigarette no, cigarette no, cigarette move from ya. Cigarette no, cigarette no. Walk there. It's the ganja man. I esteem these trees when I'm touching on the streets. I'm a ganja man. I got a diva OG and a steam when I please. I'm a ganja man. I'm living so free, giving positivity. I'm a Rasta man. Oh, I'm a ganja man. Yes, I don't know, say this is Kesnam, they are we said 10 pound, yo. You know, so we love marijuana, we don't want to grab and touch marijuana. Cause we don't love when things grab we up, we love when herb, I love we up. Hear that? My gosh, oh gosh, good God. Hell yeah.
What them say them a blame it on the alcohol? When you don't know what the yard them a blame it on already. Hey, and what we say, blame it on the skunk, the dro and the haze. Blame it on the grapes that we smoke every day. Blame it on the weed, blame it on the weed. Hey, she said she don't really smoke, hey, but tonight she will smoke. She been a split that long like a bamboo. She took one pull and spread her legs. Then I can job is thinking, 5 does a sinking. When me want a boom drop, 3 of them me linking. We have the kush so we can't go wrong. Like Michael Phelps, me and I smoke the bong. Full another cup of the weed done cut up. We not leaving till everybody just blaze the lighters in the sky. Blame it on the skunk, the dro and the haze. Blame it on the grains that we smoke every day. Blame it on the weed, blame it on the weed, blame it on the pot, the real blueberry. Blame it on the skunk of the wood, Miss Mary. Blame it on the weed, blame it on the weed. Y'all know the weed good. Just by the look, them know say a marshal ride the weed book. Hey, me say me smoke when me wanna the high grade marijuana. Hey, people listen to the drama. Weed make Chris get mad with Rihanna. Yeah. The skunk we burn at the highest grade ain't no lie. The grades we burn, yo, we put us in the goddamn sky. The grades we burn at the highest grades, skunk, no lie. No lie. I blame it on the skunk, the Joe and the haze. Blame it on the grades that we smoke every day. Blame it on the weed. Blame it on the weed. Blame it on the pot, the real blueberry. Northern lights skunk off the whole place merry. Blame it on the weed. Blame it on the weed.
God had long hair and a goatee, and if his eyes were pretty glazed, if he looked spaced out, would you buy his story? Would you believe he had an eye
marching home. Maybe he sits and smokes a bone.
Well, that's pretty interesting music. Thanks to Chris Diablo, DJ Diablo. Interesting choice. I guess it's a good way to kind of get into the second half of the show. I guess we can kind of bring up the spirit a little bit in here. Aaliyah, you're still with us, right? You still here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
You guys are listening to One Blunt Radio. This is your girl, Miss Miranda Wright. So you're listening to Hash It Out. Before we went to that break, we were talking to Miss Aaliyah from the Stoner High Girls. She is informing us all about this 911 Good Samaritan law that she helped pass or was a part of. How would you? What is your title with this exactly, so that I can be correct when I say it?
I'm just like a Colorado organizer for the 911 Good Samaritan Law. I'm the only one in Colorado that's a part of the Good Samaritan Law Coalition.
How does somebody become part of that? How would somebody join that?
I got through that one group I was telling you about, the heroin epidemic. So many loved ones lost. I saw people getting involved with it with another group called Not One More, and I wanted to be a part of it. So I asked, and they let me, and I set up my own group page at the time called Buffalo Run Heroin Epidemic Awareness to try to get things going up here. At the time, though, I wasn't really that great at promoting and things like that, and I named the website after my father. They called him Buffalo when he was alive, so I thought the website went perfect with it.
That's kind of neat. And so it was. So you've been doing this whole promoting for awareness for a while. That's pretty good. You're pretty talented with this whole thing.
Yeah, when Victor died, and I experienced addiction for myself, sorry. I just wanted to make a difference, really. And I couldn't do it any other way, I felt like, other than to do the Good Samaritan Law Coalition. But now we're out there, we're doing it, you know.
Well, I think it's great, and especially the fact that you guys were able to reach as far as, there's 11 states now. There's, let's see, California, Arizona, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, it looks like, is one of the newer ones. Ohio, Florida, Missouri, Texas, and Colorado. That's it.
Well, I want you to do something for me. I wanted you to help me read this because I wanted people to. It's kind of hard to explain unless people know where I'm coming from. So I wanted you to read something. I wanted you to read my last conversation with my brother with me. It all ties into how I was telling everybody that we have to choose sobriety. We can't make somebody get clean. We can't force them to get clean. They have to want to get clean.
Yeah, I remember we were talking
that at the time. I wanted people to see where I was at in my head, and especially people looked at my brother that he was like just some dumb junkie that just ripped off everybody and stole money and typical thing. You know what I mean? But Victor was so much more than that. My brother, he was a good guy. He was a good father. He loved his wife. And when he was clean, he was just like the best person to be around, you know? But I would love it if you could help me read it from page 8, if you could read Victor's part. And I'll start mine. Is that cool?
Hold on a second. I don't know if I exactly feel comfortable reading this conversation. This is the last conversation you had with your brother, within hours before his overdose?
Yes, this was, it looks like we had this conversation on June 4th, 2011, and my brother passed away June 6th, 2011.
Hold on a second.
But I wanted, I'm ready for people to see this. I've held on to it this whole time, and you were the first person that I actually showed this to. But I feel that people need to know, you keep it in a box forever, I guess. I think this will help people and understand where everybody's come from, family members, and even the addict, you know?
Well, I think that the whole point of all of this, too, is not just, the point of drug addiction itself, but the fact of the matter that people can actually do something about it as far as saving these lives and not letting them, die from their overdose if they are to that point, like you were saying.
But it's also something, this is very important, girl. If you could just bear with me and help me with this, it'd be awesome. I could read what I wrote, and you could read what Victor wrote.
Hold on, I'm trying to find what page.
I'm going to start from my second comment from the top page, on page 8.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
We'll say page 8 of 11 in the corner.
Hang on a second.
I only want to start it here because the rest is kind of irrelevant. It's just a couple of siblings going back and forth. But this is actually the point where the conversation got serious, and I just feel like people need to hear that story.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Leah. I don't know if I feel really comfortable reading this. This is kind of a personal thing. I don't feel comfortable reading it. Just with the way that, because I'm just looking over it, and I can understand where you're coming from and that you're ready to tell the story, but the fact of it is you told the story without having to get so into depth of the detail.
It's a part of my story, though, girl. It has to be told.
Well,
the whole subject's uncomfortable. But if everybody allowed it to be uncomfortable, then nothing would get accomplished.
Well, I understand.
Law wouldn't get accomplished. Awareness wouldn't get accomplished. These charities wouldn't get accomplished.
I understand exactly what you're doing.
And a lot of people out there, they didn't grow up like me or you did. People don't know what addiction is. People have only seen one side to life before. But people need to understand there's more to life than just what they see sometimes. And things can get uncomfortable, but
well, I think this
uncomfortable.
I think this really is what inspired you to end up doing 420 girls or 420 stoner. The stoner high girls, and like bringing 420 culture and putting positive light on, responsible cannabis use. I can read it over it real quick with you if you want. We can.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, what page is it on real quick?
I'm going to start from the third one down where my name is right there.
What page was it? Page. Where are we at?
I'm going to start from the third comment down from the top.
Okay, go ahead, and I'll see if I'm on the right page.
Okay. Our dad was sick. He didn't deserve to be torn from us.
I really don't even feel like I really want this to be read, honestly. I don't feel like it's...
I understand what you're saying. For my charity, I have to have it out there.
But the charity has already been dealt with, and the letter and the law's already been passed, and everything's been done without having to have all of this revealed like this. Like, it just makes me incredibly uncomfortable about all of this. Like, I don't.
But that's the thing, though, Miranda. It's about how comfortable I am. This is my life. This is my story, and I'm ready to share it. It has to get out there.
Well, I think that's brave.
That part of it, though, wasn't what the point of what my show is supposed to be about today. And, like, this is...
It all ties in, girl. If you want to know why I started the Good Samaritan law, this right here is going to tell you why.
Well,
I understand why. I understand why. I already know why.
I could say my brother died, my dad died, but people are not going to understand.
No, and I understand.
People don't have to understand.
I understand, and it doesn't look like it's very lengthy. I mean, we can But then I think what's best is that you talk about all the positive things that came out of it, all the things that you're now
Yes,
doing.
I want to add that.
And everything, because it's important to know that people.
Well, she's already talked about all of
how
a lot of
life
the
has
negative.
life
It's
can
already
be.
all been about all of that. I wasn't trying to
Well, there
make
may
it
be
so
people out
negative.
there who may feel like no one understands how they feel. So I understand. I'll tell you what, if you want, I would like to talk to you about it sometime personally. We could call, because I hear a lot of what me and my wife went through and what you're saying. So we can talk about it maybe another time. Me and you can talk about it on the phone or something.
I wasn't trying to, because now it just makes me sound like I'm a shitty friend. That wasn't what I was trying to entail.
I
any means.
understand that, Miranda, but this is what this cause is all about. It's an uncomfortable situation, and it is, but it has to be addressed. And I did not address this for 4.5 years. And I waited until the perfect time. And I've been wanting this to come out for a few months now.
Oh, okay,
And
well,
I'm ready for it. I want people to know. My laundry is all going out there. But it needs to. If I'm going to make a difference, even in my family's life, and if I want my kids to do different than I'm doing, or what I did, or anything that my family did, I have to put this out there.
Well, then I don't see why you. Okay. Well, then can I make a suggestion, Aaliyah? Then can you not start at page 8? Why don't you start at page 1 so that you get the whole story?
Well, page 1 is just a brother and sister goofing around. It's irrelevant to what we're talking about. But if we start right here, it tells you.
All right. Well, if Jamin feels comfortable reading it, then by all means.
Yeah, we'll just read
Go
through
ahead,
it
I
real
suppose.
quick, and then I think the best thing is then just we talk about all because a lot of good has come out of tragedy, and I think that's the whole thing that Miranda wants to talk about is all the good things that have happened since. But I will gladly read okay, so you started with your dad was sick, and go ahead from there.
And I put, he didn't deserve to be torn from us. It's what made him worse.
And it looks like he responded, I know, but some people don't think that the way we do what we had it in our lives, all of our lives. Let me read that again to make sure I read that correctly. I got a little light here. I know, but some people don't think the way we had it in our lives, all of our lives.
And then I put sometimes our children are our inspiration to get us back on track, to make better choices.
And he said, Denise understands.
And Denise was his wife that he left behind. I put she's grown. She needs to put her foot down, and she does understand.
I have something to tell you, but can't get mad. Promise me that.
I won't. I can't wait to meet Victor. He looks like my baby. He's my blood. I wish I could see him all the time. I feel awful that I don't.
And he responded that I relapsed the other day, but I picked myself back up and got my mind right, and was a setback. It was a setback. I learned from it. I did not tell you because I did not want you to stop talking to me, because I really do love you. You're my sis.
I'll pray for you.
And he said, I hate myself for that.
And then I put, do me a favor, okay?
I'm glad I got through it. What is it? That's why I want to go to a sober living house.
I put, every time you think about picking that shit up, you think about Victor Espinosa Richards Jr. You think it's that boy as you when we were kids. It's kind of like what's it there. But Victor did what I do. It's hard. I love him so much. And I put, he looks just like you, exact even. He has your name. I think about you and how you were feeling. And think about you and how you were feeling at the time, that specific time when we were young.
Let's see, it looks like she got cut off. But it looks like he says, I do, it's hard, I love him so much. And then she told him, he looks just like you, exact even. He has your name. You think about what you were feeling at the time, that specific time when you were young. Hey, welcome back.
Sorry, I don't know what keeps happening there.
No worries, bad signal. So, anyways, it looks like he responded that he was sad. And you said, think about your sister picking the needles up.
Think about your sis picking up those needles so you wouldn't get hurt.
Right. And he said he was lonely.
You remember me doing that? He's 3 now, but he's only getting older. Do you remember how it felt watching our father go into the ground?
And he said, yes, he did.
Do you remember how heartbreaking it was to hear that our dad died that way? We didn't get it sugar-coated to us, remember? You think about those very things. You think about another man raising your son, my nephew. That's what we went through, remember? You think about all those things. That's going to be Victor Espinosa Richard all over again.
And he said that he hated that, and it looked like that's not what he wanted at all.
I put you're repeating the cycle, bro.
And I'll be damned if Victor goes through that.
You want your son, your mini-me, your namesake to feel that way, exact same way. He will. He will even repeat the cycle just like you're doing with Dad.
He said, I don't understand why me and his ex go through...
Oh, no, that's me and Heather.
Oh, I don't...
Heather's our older sister.
Yeah, he says, I don't understand why me and Heather go through this. We try so hard.
I put Victor Espinosa Richards will sit there crying and heartbroken and angry at you. And then I put Heather doesn't try. She's a huge mooch.
And he says, I really am.
She shows me that all the time, very selfish she can be.
He says it's the drug, not her. It's the stuff me and her do is very powerful. And and I can't read the last part. It sucks, and it sucks.
I put it's her. She's begging me to hook her up all week. And I put she claims it's for weight loss. She took that mess.
It's the addict, the devil playing games.
I found her meth pipe in the middle of her walkway in her closet on the floor the other day. She wonders why I won't take my kids and move them in there.
He said I would.
Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's really bad.
No, that's okay. He said I wouldn't.
But you're doing more for yourself than she is. This conversation stays between us. Okay, and I locked her pipe up in my safe.
And he said your kids are already with a drunk. They don't need to be around that stuff. I will, I promise.
But my kids come by during the day lately while Tom works.
That's cool. You got a pool there, right?
But as your big sister talking, think about those things I told you. Think about little Vic going through that same shit when you're tempted and walk away. Stay away from addicts.
And then he responded, I will, I'm trying so hard, and I don't like myself for what I did the other day, but I can't feel sorry for myself because all that will do is give me a reason to use, and I don't need that. I'm better than that.
I think you are better than that to say your serenity prayer.
And he said, I'm a good man when I'm not high.
And like you said, it's the devil's drug.
And he said, it is, it's the beast.
Do you know of many old addicts?
Yeah, he said, hell no. Thank you for talking to me this late. I want to get more closer to you, Aaliyah. I missed a lot of our lives together.
You're welcome, bro, anytime. I miss it too. We were close growing up.
And he said he missed having an older sister.
The drugs ruin things.
That's why I had to be honest with you about my relapse. Please don't tell Ray. He doesn't understand all of this.
I won't. I'm going to get to bed now, so bro, it's getting late. I love you. I'll pray for you too. Stay strong.
He thinks it's just so easy the way I see it. If I was so easy, why did our father pass away from it? Let me know if it's getting late for you.
That was the last thing my brother
Well,
everybody needs to hear that. Life is that it just they had control over him. Wasn't a bad person. Is a very loving person.
no, yeah. And the face of addiction is very rarely a sinister one. I mean, these are family people. These are fathers and brothers and sisters. So, absolutely. But, there's so many, for every story like my brother-in-law's, for every story like your brother's, there's also stories of people who've triumphed over addiction, who've come out and done positive things. The thing is we need, this law, and what you're doing is helping to get more people on the right track towards positive, rehabbed lives where they find other things to live for other than that drug.
I agree completely. I mean, this is too where it ties up where I was saying earlier that it doesn't matter how hard we tried. He had to choose it. It was his fight. I said everything I could say to him that I felt would save his life, and that addiction was just too powerful. And I really thought that I understood at the time. I mean, you could tell in just what we read. I didn't really understand anything. I just thought it was so easy, and I wish I would have been there more for him.
I understand that sentiment. That's how I felt with my brother-in-law. But, that's one of the things that really drove me to do things like a speakeasy and my doctor's office and to become a cannabis activist, is because I wanted to give... I had also seen how cannabis really helped my brother during the times when he was trying to rehabilitate himself and stuff like that. I had seen, the difference between like cannabis and harder drugs and stuff, and it inspired me to try to do something more positive, more community-based, And I think that's what we see with you with like Stoner High Girls, and we see with so many people who come out of those, who have those stories in their lives, that they strive to do positive things in their communities,
One of the things he said to me last was that he wanted me to start living life to the fullest. It was in a very abusive relationship, and it really upset him. And he just wanted his sister to be happy as well. So I wanted the same for him. And I couldn't be there. Obviously this was our last conversation within hours before he passed away, and he said he needed his sister.
Okay.
And this is my way of being there for him. I couldn't be there for him at that time, but I'm there now, and I'm not going to let what happened be insane. I want my kids or our kids in general just to see what we're doing now and how we're trying to break that cycle. And I just don't want them to be in vain. None of them.
No,
I want their deaths to save lives.
I understand exactly what you mean. You're using it for a more positive future. Hopefully, that the things that we consider to be epidemics today will be, long history in the past. But it starts with reform and laws like this, where people aren't punished for coming forward for trying to do good things. Where people don't fear jail time for trying to rehabilitate themselves or come in and get the medical attention they need. Sometimes people can feel their bodies breaking down, and they avoid, going to the hospital or anything because they're afraid of prosecution and stuff like that. So it all starts with these kind of laws and the efforts that you guys are putting in. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. I really appreciate hearing that, too. this has been like a struggle for everybody. You know, I thought I was alone for a while. I mean, there was just so many of them in my family, and I mean, some of them still struggle with addiction to this day.
Yeah.
But I didn't know until I went to these sites and saw how many other people. And National Center for Health Statistics, over 40,000 prescription pain medications, over 40,000 lives are being lost annually to overdose, primarily the result of heroin and its opiate cousins, the prescription pain medications that have become so prevalent in our society.
Well, yeah, and OxyContin, which is nothing but a synthetic form of heroin, is really what cost my brother-in-law his life. That coupled with Xanax and stuff, that was his drugs of choice. And so, I mean, yeah, absolutely, I agree fully. You know, and it's always sad to find out that someone could have done something earlier, but they hesitated because they were worried about the ramifications that might come down upon them.
Yes. I mean, I forgive the person that loved my brother. I found peace in that. I felt at the time that he was probably scared. There was no good Samaritan law where they're from. And I forgive him. And if he's listening right now, I hope he knows that I forgive him. Victor was a loving person, and I already know for a fact that his life, with him passing, had already saved a few of his own friends. And I know it wasn't in vain. You know, these people saw what happened to him, what he had been through, and they learned from it. And that's all I want to do, is just to show people that maybe they could get something out of it. If I reached one person today, I know I did something good.
Absolutely, and you know, and that really is the truth of it too. You know, I sit there and me and my wife question, you know, why we lost Kenny and why he continued down the road when he had so many chances or so much support. You know, and my wife and I sometimes feel guilty, you know, for withdrawing our support from him. But he really did have so much support for so long. And we sit there and we go, you know, why didn't he take advantage? But, you know, I've had my battles with depression. She's had her battles with depression throughout our lives and stuff. And knowing what our feelings losing, you know, is what kept, you know, Amy herself had difficulties with drug abuse. You know, me and her together had problems with drug abuse, and this is what told us that this was not something we wanted to develop or go down. So, you know, it really does. A lot of times tragedy can spawn some very beautiful things and beautiful endeavors and stuff. So, tell me a little bit about Stoner High Girls and what you're about, how you help the cannabis community and stuff like that.
Well, lately we've been doing more charity work in the community with cancer, and this is one, you know, thing that I was really passionate about. And I've lost family to cancer, but obviously this hit more home to me.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could understand why.
Oh, yeah, of course, absolutely.
And I noticed a lot of the other girls, like in the other groups, usually do cancer events and help the homeless. And and those are awesome, charities to do.
Yeah,
And I noticed
all of them
nobody
important,
did
yes.
anything like this. And I figured I might as well take what I was already doing with this and combine it with what I'm doing now.
Right. And so you're using this, you're using these girls, and you're using your stature within the cannabis community to bring awareness to other social problems that are out there that require everyone's attention and support.
Yes. Yes.
Well, it sounds
I
like
know we've all been affected one way or another, and
absolutely.
I just really believe in this cause, and I think that, everybody should be working on one thing, like cancer and the homelessness. I want this to really be our thing. And I just believe in it so much, and I think that if I put my effort into it, I could make things happen, and I'm hoping I do.
Yeah. Well, I have no doubt, because of your passion for this, because of your love for your brother, and obviously the deep feelings you have on this situation, I have no doubt you're going to bring a lot of attention to this, and a lot of good is going to end up coming from this. And like you said, you've already seen the impact within your own life, and now, from this, you have a chance to impact other lives, and I think that that's very admirable. I think it's a great way to memorialize your brother. I salute you for going out there, and there's a lot of people with a lot of sob stories, but there's very few people getting up and doing something about it and putting their voice behind things, and so I commend you for doing that. It looks like we got to take a break real quick.
Oh, it looks like that's the end of the hour. We're done.
Oh, all right. Well, I misread the clock. It looks like we're done. So, Miranda, I'll let you go ahead and sign us out here.
Well, Aaliyah, thank you so much for coming on the show again today. I know that this is it is a great cause, and it's a great, thing that you're doing, and I understand, the severity and the importance of being able to share your story. It's just, I get all sensitive about that kind of junk, so.
Oh, I know, but I still love you anyway, girl. I really appreciate you having me on your show, too, and having an opportunity to be able to put this out there. And I was glad I got to meet up with you last night and kind of go over it with you already. And I appreciate everything you've done.
No, I appreciate everything you're doing, and this for you was kind of, the same thing that K-High in a way was for me when I first started doing my radio show. My mom, while she did pass away, from cancer, that's what the leading cause was, she did suffer from drug addiction her whole life. So I know all about that road, and I know what, how it affects the entire family, and it's a great theme that you guys are doing, just not only yourself, but just the fact that you were taking a part in this. I didn't know that there was something like this, and I don't think a lot of other people really knew that there was something like this either. And, do you have any information about, where people can go to look up how to help and how to, take part in something like this?
Yes, I have a bunch of websites actually on Facebook. And if anybody wants to be a part of the group so they can get more information, just friend request me on Facebook or shoot me a message at Stoner High Girls, and I'm pretty good about returning them back. It may not be right away because I get really busy sometimes, but I always return my messages.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Miranda. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'm just waiting to get some of them links up because I'm curious.
Yeah, I added them actually. I added you to them earlier today.
I had my laptops when I got here. I actually ran out of the house without pulling the charger, like the wall outlet cord, the power cord, to my laptop. So I got here and my laptop died. And it's been a complicated morning, so I don't have any of the stuff that you sent me. But do you have offhand some of the websites and stuff like that people can look into about, where you found out about the whole Good Samaritan Coalition and how maybe people that aren't necessarily even in Colorado or people that are here in Colorado, we all know somebody in a different state somewhere, It's another great way to promote.
If you guys get online, if you have Facebook, go ahead and search Not One More, and that should pop up a few groups, and it's all about this cause with the Good Samaritan. They don't want one more to die, pretty much. And they were actually on Dr. Phil about 3 or 4 years ago, too, telling their story. And then we got the heroin epidemic, so many loved ones lost. That one's a really good support group as well. They usually put some pretty good resources in there. And then you could always go to my group as well. I just finally got it up and going again. It's called the Buffalo Run Heroin Epidemic Awareness.
You know, I'm not I would be, well, I'm surprised that there haven't, like, been something done already to where it takes, well, I mean, there might have been. I might be stupid in saying this even out loud, but the fact that they're having more of these awareness-type groups come together as far as, I mean, yeah, we're in Colorado, so a lot of the big focus here is, you know, of course, cannabis awareness, but amongst all of the other, you know, illicit drugs or just substance abuse programs, I wonder if they're really, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking
really good
if they're partnering
advocate
up.
that, he's probably listening right now because I sent him a link. His name is Ed McCain, and he is in Missouri. And he also is the National Anti-Heroin Organizer, and he does a lot of amazing stuff. He lost a friend of his named Valerie, and they got a lawsuit called Valerie's Law there. But he's always at these events and rallies. And he, like, anytime I ever needed information, I just hit him up. His name's Ed McCain. You'll see him in all the groups. And actually, if anybody's on my friend list, you can even find him on my phone, too, if you have any questions.
Okay.
Or Kathy Willis.
Cool.
Another one who's on my list, but they can get a hold of me.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Aaliyah. I appreciate you coming on today and being on my first show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and thank you for being a part of this cause with me. It means a lot to me. Both of you too, Jamin. It really does mean a lot.
He's sitting over there by the pool tables. I think I'm not sure what he's doing, but it looks like he might be rolling up a doobie. I was just thanking her for coming on the show today. So she was saying thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miranda, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm in your place, dude.
I know, it's awesome. It's awesome. Miranda's doing her radio show from my place. And you're on it. All right, I guess I'm pretty high right now.
Everybody can find me at Stoner High Girls, either on Facebook or we have our own webpage at stonerhighgirls.com. You can find us on Instagram as well, and we post all of our events and charity things that we're doing in the community. Give us a like and share and check us out, and come to an event, of course.
All right.
Thank you again, Miranda, for everything, and give me a call later, I guess.
Okay, no problem. Thank you again, Aaliyah.
Have a good day, girl.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Looks like my time here is just about up. I'm going to get out with a little bit of music, see what kind of stuff the DJ got put up on here. I'm your girl, Miss Miranda Wrights. You are listening to Hash It Out on One Blunt Radio, onebluntaradio.com. Smoke one, son.
I done smoke granddaddy, I done smoke OG, I'ma tell you something true. When I put sour diesel in the blunt, don't no bud get me high like you. Don't no bud get me high like you. Don't no bud get me high like you. Bang, bang, bang. Don't no bud get me high like you. Don't no bud get me high like you. It's 9 in the evening and I'm looking for my dealer for some fun. What the hell is he at? And when I can't find them, I gotta use your dealer, and your dealer sucks. He really do sucks. Yeah, yo, your dealer is a liar, because he don't never have the fire. He always talk reckless on the wire. My little finger up to your supplier. I just wanna party, I ain't tired. That's how it is really get you higher. granddaddy, I done smoke OG. I'ma tell you something true. When I put sour diesel in the blunt, don't no bug get me high like you. Don't no bug get me high like you. Don't no bug get me high like you. Bang, bang, bang. Don't no bug get me high like you. Don't no bug get me high like you. Yo, I copped a half an ounce and I'm heading to some chick house so she can give me drink. Yo, she put a weed on the table. I looked at it. I said, put that shit away. Hey, 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 hey. Your dealer is a liar because he don't never have the fire. He always talk reckless on the wire. Running a nigga up to your supplier. I just wanna party, I ain't tired. That's all it is to really get you high. I love marijuana. Go tell my mama that I got the buzz. Oh, got buzz. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. She got the buzz. Got buzz. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. So the nigga like me smoking. Yes, sir. Smoking. Red man and I smoking. Dedicated to all the smokers out there smoking. We all smoking. I'm just fucking with y'all. I don't sing, motherfucker. Yes, you do. Fuck.
By any means, I get it, it's a necessity. A jack of all trades, like hustling was my destiny. Early in the morning, whipping up cakes. Skin on the counter, trying to listen for the jakes. Pump your brakes, think about Jack. I lay off 1, 5, 7, 6, back it. Stay in your lane, it's different for everybody. It's not for place, I don't treat it like it's a hobby. Cop a jalopy, that's stunting and get you neutralized. You don't wanna die right now, you better improvise. Hustling is a habit, and homie, I can't quit. I'm addicted to the game, I love clocking my grip. That's real shit, still better play the safe route.